All right, all you devils, how you doing out there? Happy Friday. Of course, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin here. So here we are on the 1st of May, Friday the 1st. Well, things are getting interesting. So I do think now that the market's revealed a bit more of itself here, we can simplify this count a bit. So I do think now, because we've had this big move here, that this plays more as a 3, and we're in the process of putting in the 4 before going up to complete the potential impulse here off of this 1-2. Which means working backwards, now I do think you have to work in the diagonal here. Here's the correction, so we live with a shallow 2, right? It's not the end of the world. So I get another diagonal here. So that gives me my 1. This is a perfect golden corner pocket. We get to and through median, we get the upper channel. So you can see how nicely this set of median lines is framing the market. So we've shown this a couple of times here. So this is literally like I know it's like you photoshopped it, right? So there is literally a perfect golden corner. So here's your 80% being realized, right? If it's not going to pause at the median line, up to the other parallel. So this plays nicely as a 1, 2, 3. It looks like we're working through the ABC of the 4 here. So I do think that we can simplify enough here. So off of this low, it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we're seeking the 3. So that would leave the larger 1, 2 here that would still potentially be up here. So from here, 1, 2, 3, it looks like now, if I take this to an hourly, oh, I should surprise no one here. So from the pivot, what do we do? Right to golden zone. So if this is going to play, it looks like you've got your A, your B, and potentially your C comes down here. Wouldn't that be just ideal, right? To catch it at the lower parallel here to the median line. So 1, 2, it looks like you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get your impulse here, and clearly was impulsive. A's down, B to the golden zone. Hard not to like that. So just it's not inevitable, but that wouldn't surprise me at all, and it would clean the Elliott count up here, so we could see, okay, there's the initial move off of the pump high here. Down we go, 3 into a golden zone. If we can come back down here, now it wouldn't necessarily have to be the parallel here. Come right into here's our Vegas wave here. We've got a little bit of a low volume node here. So potentially now that just plays, that's pretty. So let's see if I can even, it might be a little skinny for its median lines here, but since it's corrective, I'm going to put a shift on. So something like that would just be ideal. We shall see. So you get the Vegas wave right here. So if I bring this in a little bit, it's not bad. So I don't know, any help from the oscillators? If we're going to head down here and get, you're essentially flatlining here as we've come off of this move. So if I zoom in here, it does seem right. So this would be, let's get that dialed in. All right, so we'd have a corrective shift golden corner here. Oh, well, do we get it? We've just missed the median line here. So this may, since we're looking for 5 here, this may set up the 2, 3, 4, get us down here and get a 5 in that C. So a decent start on it, but if it starts to retrace, I think you got to be careful about assuming, that it's 1, 2, and off we go towards the 5. I'd be more anticipating, right? So we're looking for it to finish in 5. If it's going to just trade as a zigzag, which it's got the potential to do. So if I get this right on that pivot. Again, it doesn't have to be here. Shit, it could be right here. Anywhere in here, right, you're set up now. You could buy the 4 into the 5. Let's come back here. It's just pretty much right by the book here. Now I know I got a lot on there, so let's get this one off. So this is the one we're working through. But if we're looking for some confluence here, if I get the lowest low to my pivot here, well, here's the 50 from the 2. Let's take this up a degree. So here's the 50 from the 2, right? So nice confluence here where we get the algo target here at the 50. Just kind of looking left here. There's a bit of an air pocket over here where we've got a little, well, you can see because we moved so quickly on the way up. So we left a bit of an air pocket here. So if we're going to come down towards that, and again, this is not, doesn't mean we must go down there, but the count would just be a perfect setup for the 4 to the 5. So a couple of ways you could do it. So from if that length of the 1, right, if that is the 4, and I don't have the 4, so looking up to some of these upper targets, well, that would be your most ambitious. If you got the 2618, the length of the 1 from the 4, that might be a little overly optimistic. But you've got here's the 227 here at the algo target from this 50. So if I pull that off so you can see it a little better. Right, so if indeed we're going to come down here and we're going to tag that 50, well, right, so we know we'd have an algo behind us, then that would be just a perfect setup for that to finish up there. So, right, I do think we're looking quite good here. So off of this last low down here at this, what did we hit here? Well, here on Binance it was 37 and change. 5, 3, 5, 3. Hoping for 5 here. Keeping it simple. So, encouraging. Let's go up. Encouraging to see this price action. Like this. Well, it doesn't eliminate a bearish result here. It certainly strengthens the bull case. Right? Because everybody here watching knows I'm a bull. So, I'd feel a whole lot better about this if this completes. All right, so then we've got our third off of this 1, 2, of course our perfect golden here. If we complete this 5, then I think we're game on. The halving is a couple of weeks away. You can just kind of see how this could play nicely here. Now we're still not done. So this 1, 2 would be seeking the 3 there. That's ambitious. Let's measure that out. So from this pivot, if that's going to play as our 2, all right, we got a ways to go here. Well, so note, bring this down here. So here would be the ideal location. So this is laying out rather nicely. So if we're going to get the 3 up here, so now we're in the 11-2 range off of the initial 1-2 with the very shallow 2. So thus the market's got to move farther because we didn't do a typical 2, which would have you down here. Because it's such a shallow 2, we've got higher targets from that. Which, again, it's not unheard of, right? So 12% of 2s don't make the 50. So 12% is 12%. It looks like that's what we've got here. So this being a perfect 2, I think this all just, until proven otherwise, there's no reason to assume anything other than that. Now bears, right? Bears just all they see is breaking that low. At some point, guys, you got to join the party. I know, wouldn't it be great to buy it down here? But you're missing, a lot of the nice part of the ride here. So not that you've missed it, right? So if you were just a stubborn bear and you're not participating in any of this, you're not dead yet, right? So here, right, you got an opportunity to catch it there. That's just going to set up that. You got an opportunity to get that, which is just going to set up that. So you got lots of opportunities. Well, much more fun on the bullish side. Well, right, we're not in it for fun, right? So let's say it this way. It's been more profitable to be on the bullish side. So what do we now? We can confirm that the most profitable asset of 2020 is Bitcoin. Hasn't been a bad place to be a bull. I think bears, right? A little surprised to see this, right? But as far as I'm concerned, this is the easiest call on the board. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist here to be bullish on Bitcoin. So there's not much more I can add here. Until this count breaks down, I think you have to assume that it's just going to play Elliott ball here. There's no reason to assume otherwise. So if I come down here, now this will be a big tell because we need to finish this impulse. So if we come down here and hit this 50, I think you got to look there. Well, just looking left here, so you got a little structure here as well that you could play into that. So just this little lip, well, you could do it a couple of different ways. So really you could just include that whole thing and just bring it over here. So look what that does for you. So if I get right on that lip, so look how that's framing. That's interesting. So this little pocket here where we stalled before the free fall is framing your algo buy zone. So there's the 50, there's the golden zone. So you literally could just be a buyer if we come anywhere. Well, here, let me clean this up a little bit. If we come anywhere into this section, let's get all of this off. Just make it drop dead simple. Boy, it's hard not to like that. Yeah, well, so look what else. Look at all the confluence you have here. So you've got the Vegas wave sitting there right at the 50. We've got this little pocket, this little structure here, right, which tied to, so there's going to be a little volume node here tied to that as well. Your 50 from the 2. You'd be completing a nice 3 as dovetails in here, and you've got the upsloping, or pardon me, the lower parallel to this set of median lines. I mean, you know, shit, you know, as I'm prone to say, why would you not take that trade? Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. That doesn't mean this is a guaranteed winner. This far from what I'm saying. No such thing, right? So as soon as you've got a guaranteed winner, I'd like to know about it. Nobody has a guaranteed winner. 0 people. So what do we get here? We get nice risk reward. That's all you ever get. You've got a trade that's setting up here technically. Couldn't be any prettier. Don't like the Elliott wave? Use the median lines. Don't like the median lines? Use the fib retracements. Want to put it all together? Right now you're a trade devil. Right here, right? Where did we get there? So 4-1. So it's not a home run ball, but you know, because if we go up and get that, it's just going to set up the 4. So so for me, I would take profit there. Right? That's the target. You've got an entry, a stop, and a target. Well, and I know it's tempting when it gets up there. You're like, oh, well, maybe that'll keep going. Maybe it'll keep going. It's very, very tempting to do that. But if you're going to take this trade because of this setup, and you've got your target laid out, I mean, maybe you take 70% of it off here, and you let some run just because you know Bitcoin he's done it before, right? I mean, well, shit, we just had $1,000 candle, so I think you got to be careful about, you know, pigs get slaughtered. If you have a target, take it, right? So because you're anticipating if it's going to play this path, right? You're waiting for the next 3. So not that I would short it here going for the 4, but I would bank that, right? Again, assuming this plays, I'd bank that and wait for the next setup, and I'd do the same thing there. It's not complicated. This, right? You know, this is up to the individual. So if you wanted to give it I wouldn't go beyond that. I just use the other side of the golden zone here, maybe a little bit below it, because if it's going that deep now, that's a negative for this. We don't want it going that far. You know, too much further, you're going to challenge the 1. It's just the depth, right? So this is the ideal. That's why you're really looking for the 4 between the 23, 38, 50, right? So the advantage of the 50 is we get an algo backing us. But really, you don't want them coming that deep. Right, it reduces the probability you're going that high, and you look at it and you go, oh well, okay, but you've got an algo there, yeah, but we're off a secondary pivot here. So if it's going that deep, now I'd work from I'd go back a pivot and say, okay, well if I get down there, if I'm just going to retrace the whole thing, do I like it as much if I'm going this far? I don't. I want it to play Elliott ball right here. That's the trade that's setting up. So there's no reason to give it beyond that. So in plus, right, you're changing your risk reward. So here you're at 3. Well, you know, I'm giving it to just to the lower edge here of this little box. So if you're going to give it that much, well, you've only got 366 to 1 there. So you don't want to give it too much, because you want to be there if this gets stopped out and you got to reconsider the count. Well, you don't want to take too much of a hit there, because now we might have to reconfigure the count, see what we're doing, what just happened, right? Has something changed to the overall structure? If this is coming down here, we're going that deep. What would be of concern to the bull case? So let's not assume that, but let's be prepared, right? Understand that's a possibility. So there you go. I think pretty straightforward. So what is that? That's we would be looking at anywhere, 8,200-ish. Be looking for that range here as a possible entry, with a target up here at a little over 10, 10.1, 10.2. Would set up the next three you'd be looking for, which would play from the 4 to the 5. Now we're really rolling. All right, guys, there you go. Pretty straightforward, short and sweet today. All right, there you go. Have a good weekend. We'll be back to you on Monday.